100%. 100%. That man said, get his ass beat. I want you to go deal with that man saying, get my ass beat. Go, then deal with that him. Great, go. Deal with him.
No, I'm going to do it.
That's amazing.
Come on, tell me.
Stay.
We're going to walk out.
Go what?
Okay. Oh, we're not going anywhere.
I'm not doing anything. No. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Take it.
Sit down. What is going on? I heard you from all the way down there. Did she assault somebody?
When I ran up, she was in the corner. She had.
Charles, there we got one handcuffs.
Where's your ID?
Who'd she hit or touch? What happened?
Those three.
What did you say the captain said? What did you say?
She screamed once I let her down the jet bridge and just cursed. I said, "Man, we can't do that. Just come up."
What for? This is that.
So the captain ended up coming up for some paperwork.
Okay.
So as I'm on the phone with her at another gate for the paperwork, I said with the captain, "What did you say the captain said?" Mind you, the captain sitting right here said, "Ma'am, you are not getting on my flight."
She chest to chest?
Or like chest to chest.
She chest to chest.
Her.
Me.
And him.
Okay. And like
Me, her.
she hit all
him.
three people with her
And
phone?
she hit
Swiped
him
us like
in the
this.
corner.
She said,
So the phone.
and then she's recording, so I'm just standing here being
Recording's not
recorded.
illegal.
And then
But
complete my statement.
But
And
your
then
phone
she
was a
reaches
weapon.
across and swipes me like to hit me with the phone because she starts screaming directly in my face. And I said, you're not going to scream at me. You're going to calm down. This is the very behavior that our captain has denied boarding for. At which point, she starts slapping at me with the phone and she hit me here.
Okay. Are you okay?
As I stated, before they came over, she was doing this to me.
She was poking
You're
your
not doing
finger?
that to me.
Okay.
Step away. So after they came, that's when she started using her phone, tapping people.
She tapped people with the
Yeah.
phone. Okay. Where did she tap you?
Right here.
Right in the chest. Okay.
Mhm.
Are you okay? Do you need paramedics?
No.
Are we going to add... Are you wanting to press assault charges as well?
So what all does that entail?
So basically, because that didn't happen in my presence review, it's basically going to be your word against hers. You'll have to go to court for it. You'll have to talk to the judge about it. However, I mean, I think I'm gonna do a little bit more investigation with her, but it seems like she can go jail on it for PI. Okay, if we're okay with that, just getting her out of here, absolutely good that route. But if you want to press assault charges, that's that route. Going to talk to the
No, but I'm
judge.
fine. I don't want to press. I don't.
Yes, ma'am. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm just.
Okay.
I'm mad.
I totally understand. Totally understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Figure out what's going on. Because do you understand what it looks like when I get here and you're in the corner with all these people and you have a camera in someone's face?
Go away.
I'm not going anywhere. I have to understand what's going on. You don't want to tell me anything?
Nope.
Okay. I'm really just trying to figure out
I'm done. This is bullshit.
I don't even know what's going on. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You don't.
Right.
And I am not fucking walking my way into this, so you can f*** off. This is not what you think. I have flown for 30 years. I'm a high school graduate and I worked my way out of the darkest point that anyone could ever imagine. And you can f*** off. Off. I hate this whole... Just...
Do you apply for business? Are you applying? Okay.
And I am not talking.
Okay. I'm really just trying to figure out what's going on. Okay.
I've flown with American for 15 years. I've never had anything like this happen. I'm not. It's crazy.
I don't know what's going on. That's what
I
I'm trying to
don't
figure
care.
out.
I just don't care. I want to go home.
Okay. Where's home?
I was supposed to go to Colombia. I'm going to miss a business trip. This is not good.
Okay. So you live.
But I assure you, I wasn't doing anything to screw any of the fucking travel agents. They're the best people ever.
Okay.
I don't...
Okay.
No, I was traveling with you. They're gone. It's fine. I'm done. I literally have never had anything like this happen.
Okay.
It's so dumb. I hate Americans so much. It's been
Why didn't you get on the plane?
I tried to get on the plane. They wouldn't let me on the plane. I tried to get on the plane, and they're going to tell you they wouldn't let me on the plane because the captain wouldn't let me. I will tell you I've flown this airline for 17 years.
I'm sorry, but we had to do that because when I walked into it,
I totally get it. Please just let me go home.
Okay.
I don't care.
I can't let you go home until I figure out what's going on, but I appreciate you telling me more information because that's really helping me, okay?
I don't care. I'm supposed to be in Colombia for a business trip, and I've been flying for 14 years,
okay,
and I've never had a single encounter, and I don't know how this happened, and I'm so sad, and
okay.
I'm just, please let me go home.
Okay.
I'm not as drunk as you think I am. I am just super traumatized that I am handcuffed.
Okay. How much did you have to drink?
I had 2 drinks.
Okay.
Full drinks, very full drinks,
okay,
but not any more than I normally drink when I travel.
Okay.
I've done this a million times.
Okay.
They were vodka tonics.
Okay.
They're the same things I always have.
Okay.
I swear, I cannot overstate.
Okay.
I'm not innocent, but Jesus.
So do you think they didn't let you on because you were...
No, they didn't let me on because I got on at the wrong time. I got on late. My wrists hurt so bad.
Okay,
I'm usually on so early, and they were just being...
So when they didn't let you on, you started recording them?
I didn't record. I recorded something. I don't even know where to record. I wasn't trying to record to be an ass.
Okay. Do you understand why it escalated to the situation?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I actually don't. It doesn't mean that I won't do something different next time, but I don't actually understand.
Okay. Would you like me to explain why?
No, I don't. I just want to go home.
Okay. Can you tell me what bar you drank those 2 vodka tonics at?
Yes.
If you got more than 2 items, just consolidate. The whole time she just, are you serious? I'm like, what in the world? But I said, okay, just go. So she scans on, goes to the door, then she just started yelling. F this, F that. I said, ma'am.
So she walked down here? Okay.
Ma'am.
And she had already scanned?
Yeah,
Okay.
she had did the biometrics.
Okay.
I said, ma'am, we can't have that language with me. What's going on? So I called the manager back. I said, hey, the captain needs his paperwork. He only got 2. He needs 3 more. What did you say the captain said? What did you say the captain said? So the captain's standing right there. And she's like, what did you captain say? Mind you, I'm speaking about the captain needs his paperwork. So at that point, the captain talked to her. You're not going on the flight. This is why you're not. Get out of my face. You would not be talking to my flight attendants like that. If you're up here talking like this, you would not be talking to me. So at that point, the captain said she's not going at all. So I had to wait for the other supervisors to come. At that time, captain goes down. She's doing what she's doing now. I'm on the phone calling the police, and she's like, I can hear her. Is that her in the background? I said, yes. So she's like, you're going to get this. You're going to get this. Okay. So that's what she's doing.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know when my phone recording is an issue unless you have an issue. So I don't think my cord recording and you and I have a conversation. If you want to let me off and I let you off, we're good. Otherwise, f*** off. My plane has already left.
You are detained.
Great.
That's why you're in
Then
cuffs.
give me a detain. And then I would like to contact my lawyer.
Okay. You can
Great.
contact them.
Then let's contact my lawyer.
Okay.
Then let's do that now because I'm done. I am trying to be nice and now I'm done. So let's call my lawyer.
Okay.
No?
Do not move.
Do I have a lawyer now?
Do not move.
Do I have a lawyer now? Do I have a legal right to lawyer now? Then
Detained right now.
do I have a legal lawyer to desire now, or yes or no?
No, you're being detained right now.
I do not have an option to a lawyer right now. You're telling me I do not.
That's correct.
So I do not have an option to a lawyer right now.
You're not under arrest. Okay. You're under arrest for PI.
Okay. Now you're under arrest.
Stand up.
Is this your stuff? Yeah.
Oh,
What did I do exactly?
You're under arrest for public intoxication.
No, I have a lawyer. I have an option to get a lawyer.
If you fight
I have an option to get a lawyer.
When you get to the jail, you can discuss that with them. If you fight us, you get another charge, and you don't get out in 4 hours. Do you understand that?
You make yourself feel good making 60 grand a year. You f***ing cock, f***ing tiny piece of shit. You feel good f***ing your wife with your f***ing 5-inch dick? You can
She pissed herself? Yep, she did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
No, I can smell it.
And 6'5'8", fucking dick stack, fucking short, tiny ass dick. You go home and your girlfriend that because you wear a uniform makes you feel good about yourself. You and your fucking facial hair. I'm fighting. Yeah, I'm fighting. I'm fighting so hard. You're fucking pussy. This is it.
Okay.
I'm calling my lawyer. Give me a person to talk to. I have been within an hour of anybody. I'm an American Executive Platinum person. This is not. How am I acting right now? How am I acting?
It doesn't matter. It's how you were acting before. How we ended up on the ground.
You know what? How I was acting before is so subjective. I'm not acting much right now, am I? Do not touch my feet. Do not. Stop. No.
What about this right here?
That I don't know.
Can y'all hold her
Ow,
a
your
second?
arm, my f***ing arm.
Alright, ready?
Get off my arm.
I'm calling up to C30. You guys want to go through one of the fire exit doors?
Amazing.
Ow, God.
Are you willing to walk now?
Yes. No, I would like to go to the police
Sir,
people.
you are with the police people.
No, then I'd like to go to these
stop.
ones.
Stop.
No.
Stop. We have to search you.
You're not helping at all.
We have to search you before we put you in our car. The more you
So I get
resist,
arrested?
You are arrested. You are under
I have not done anything wrong.
You're under
Great. Thanks.
Grab my keys.
Great, thanks.
Picture yourself standing at an airport gate just minutes before boarding closes. The jet bridge is narrow. The plane is still connected. Crew members stand together, finishing paperwork. Passengers nearby are checking their phones, adjusting bags, preparing to leave the ground. This is a controlled space, designed for order, designed to feel safe. Then something doesn't fit. A raised voice cuts through the background noise. A phone is held inches from someone's face. Personal space collapses. Items are scattered on the floor where they shouldn't be. People nearby don't step in. They step back. No one has mentioned police. No one has said the word crime. And yet, the atmosphere has already crossed a line. In this moment, one person believes they still have leverage. That a single sentence, one legal phrase everyone thinks they understand, can freeze the situation. That asserting a right will stop what's coming next. It won't. Because within minutes, this routine airport interaction will end with handcuffs, multiple charges, and a night that cannot be undone. Not because of a violent attack caught on camera, but because of a series of small decisions made in the wrong order, at the wrong time, in the wrong legal state. Most people believe they know when an arrest becomes real. Most people are wrong. What makes this case unsettling is not the outcome. It's how quietly the outcome becomes inevitable long before anyone realizes control has already shifted. The moment everyone assumes nothing serious has happened is the moment the legal clock is already running. The legal question at the center of this case sounds deceptively simple. If you are not under arrest, what power does the state actually have over you? Most people believe there is a clear, protective line. Until handcuffs appear, you are still in control. That if you invoke the right words, "I want a lawyer," "I'm being detained," "I know my rights," the situation pauses, or even resets. That belief is the myth. The law does not operate on incantations. It operates on status. And status can change without warning, without ceremony, and without the person involved fully understanding that it has already changed. This case exposes a sharp and expensive boundary between detention and arrest, between asserting a right and triggering a consequence, and between legal protection and legal inevitability. The mistake here is not ignorance of the law. It is confidence in a version of the law that does not exist. By the end of this video, you will understand why the sentence she believed would protect her, why the phrase so many people are taught to say did not stop the process at all. Instead, it accelerated it because once a legal threshold is crossed, rights do not disappear. They simply arrive too late to change the outcome. Here is the compressed version of how this encounter reached the point of no return. Officers were not responding to a violent emergency. There was no report of a weapon in use, no allegation of serious injury. What brought law enforcement to the gate was a familiar administrative problem in a tightly regulated environment, a passenger who had been denied boarding for intoxication and disruptive behavior. That context matters. At an airport, denial of boarding is not punishment, it is a safety determination. Once that decision is made, the aircraft is no longer the issue. The flight continues without the individual. What remains is behavior in a public, controlled space where compliance determines how quickly the situation ends. When officers arrive, they step into a confined area already under strain. Airline staff are clustered together, personal items are on the ground, voices are elevated. A phone is actively recording at close range. Alcohol is acknowledged. Emotions are unstable. Crucially, the individual at the center of the scene is not restrained, not under arrest, not yet accused of a specific crime. From a legal standpoint, this is an investigative detention at most. Officers are attempting to establish basic facts. Was there physical contact? Does anyone wish to pursue charges? Is there probable cause for enforcement, or can this end with separation and release? At this stage, outcomes are still flexible, but flexibility depends on cooperation. In controlled spaces like jet bridges, refusal to disengage carries more weight than it would on an open sidewalk. Proximity becomes pressure. Delay becomes risk. What might be tolerable elsewhere becomes untenable here. This is the narrow window where decisions still matter. Nothing irreversible has occurred yet. No charges have been filed. No custody has been established. But the encounter is approaching a threshold, one defined not by volume or attitude, but by conduct. And the next action will determine which side of that line this case falls on. Everything changes here. Until this moment, officers are still operating inside a discretionary frame. They are listening, separating accounts, assessing whether the encounter can end without custody. The legal state is fluid. Then the state collapses. Multiple witnesses describe the same action. Physical contact made during the confrontation, not an interpretation, not a misunderstanding. Contact involving an object held in the hand, delivered at close range, in a confined space where retreat is limited. That single fact reshapes the entire encounter. The law treats physical contact differently from verbal conflict. Once contact is alleged and corroborated, the situation is no longer about managing disruption. It becomes about addressing a criminal threshold. At that point, officers are not deciding whether enforcement is appropriate. They are determining how it must occur. This is the moment the legal dynamic shifts. What was seconds earlier a negotiable encounter becomes enforceable. Commands are no longer requests. Distance becomes non-optional. Non-compliance begins to carry legal weight it did not carry before. Probable cause does not require certainty. It requires reasonable belief based on observable facts and consistent witness statements. That standard is met here, and once it is met, discretion narrows rapidly. This is not escalation driven by emotion or impatience. It is escalation driven by statute. The law does not allow officers to ignore conduct that crosses a defined boundary, especially in environments where safety margins are already thin. The moment contact entered the equation, the outcome stopped being flexible. Everything that follows flows from this point. To understand why this encounter could no longer be redirected, the law must be separated from instinct. The dominant myth in situations like this is straightforward. If I am not violent, I am not criminal. That assumption collapses once conduct replaces speech. Speech is protected. Conduct is regulated. The law does not weigh tone or intention first. It evaluates action against statutory thresholds. This is where many people miscalculate. This is where disruption becomes disorder. Disorderly conduct statutes are designed to address behavior that interferes with the normal operation of a public space. Airports amplify this standard. They are controlled environments where minor disruptions carry elevated risk. What might be tolerated on a sidewalk becomes legally significant on a jet bridge. This is where annoyance becomes unlawful interference. But the case does not turn on disorderly conduct alone. The moment physical contact is alleged and corroborated, the analysis escalates. Assault and battery statutes do not require injury. They require offensive or harmful contact. An object does not need to be used as a weapon in the conventional sense. If contact is intentional or reckless and violates another person's bodily autonomy, the threshold is met. This is where confrontation becomes battery. At this stage, probable cause forms. Probable cause is not certainty. It is a practical judgment. Would a reasonable officer, observing the same scene and hearing consistent accounts, believe a crime occurred? In this case, yes. This is where investigation becomes enforcement. Once probable cause exists, Officers are no longer free to resolve the encounter informally. The legal obligation shifts. Failing to act exposes both the public and the institution to risk. In confined environments, delay is not neutral, it is dangerous. This is where discretion narrows. Another myth emerges immediately after. If I invoke my rights, enforcement must pause. It does not. The right to counsel attaches during custodial interrogation, not during scene control or initial detention. Officers are permitted to issue lawful commands to secure a scene, establish safety, and effect an arrest once probable cause exists. Asking for a lawyer does not negate those duties. This is where assertion becomes resistance. Resistance is not defined by aggression alone. It includes physical noncompliance, refusal to move when directed, or actions that force officers to exert control. The test is objective. Would a reasonable officer conclude that compliance is being withheld? Here, that standard is satisfied. This is where one charge becomes several. Public intoxication establishes context. Battery establishes criminal conduct. Resistance explains restraint. Each layer builds on observable behavior, not personality, status, or post hoc explanation. Explanation is not justification. By the time restraints are applied, the law is no longer evaluating alternatives. It is executing consequences. The system does not escalate because it is angry. It escalates because thresholds have been crossed, sequentially and visibly. This is the legal reality embedded in the footage. The outcome is not surprising. What is surprising is how early it became unavoidable. When footage like this circulates, a predictable set of narratives forms around it. They feel persuasive because they sound moral. None of them alter the legal analysis. One argument centers on excessive force. The assumption is that any physical control applied after verbal conflict must be punitive. The law does not use that lens. It applies an objective reasonableness standard. The question is not whether force looks harsh in isolation, but whether it was proportionate to the conduct officers were required to stop at that moment. Once probable cause and resistance are present, physical control is not optional. It is procedural. Another narrative points to intoxication as mitigation. Alcohol explains behavior, it does not excuse it. Intoxication does not lower legal thresholds. In public, controlled environments, it often raises them. Impairment increases unpredictability, and the law responds to risk, not sympathy. There is also the appeal to personal identity, frequent traveler, professional background, prior compliance history. These factors feel relevant to the person invoking them. Legally, they are irrelevant. Statutes do not adjust based on resume. They respond to conduct observed in real time. Free speech is raised in the same way. Speech remains protected until it manifests as conduct that interferes with lawful operations or violates another person's physical boundary. Once that line is crossed, the First Amendment no longer governs the encounter. Finally, there is the emotional reframing. Fear, confusion, embarrassment. These experiences may be genuine. They are not defenses. Courts assess actions, not internal narratives offered after control has shifted. This is not dismissal. It is distinction. The law does not ask whether someone felt wronged. It asks whether a reasonable officer, facing the same behavior in the same environment, was legally compelled to act. Here, the answer does not change. What emerges next is not chaos, and it is not illness. It is a pattern that appears repeatedly in public authority encounters, where individuals misjudge how much control they still possess. The pattern begins with entitlement blindness. Familiarity with a system flying often, navigating institutions regularly, creates the expectation that rules will bend. When they do not, the response is not recalibration, but escalation. The individual assumes persistence will restore leverage. This feeds into authority miscalibration. Airline staff are treated as obstacles. Law enforcement is treated as a higher appeals court rather than a boundary. Disagreement with one authority figure is mistaken for permission to challenge all authority present. The law does not recognize that hierarchy. As pressure increases, Darvo appears. Deny the conduct, attack the legitimacy of the response, and reverse the roles of victim and offender. Responsibility shifts outward. The narrative reframes from what happened to what is being done to me. Finally, there is weaponized victimhood. Emotional distress becomes an argument. Confusion becomes a shield. Personal grievance is substituted for legal analysis. These responses are human. They are also ineffective once thresholds are crossed. This is not a mental health diagnosis. This is a behavioral pattern. The pattern matters because it explains why the encounter feels sudden and unfair to the person experiencing it, while remaining entirely predictable to officers trained to recognize it. By the time the individual realizes control is gone, it has already been transferred. Not emotionally, procedurally. The final phase of this encounter is no longer interpersonal. It is administrative. Once custody is established, discretion narrows to zero. The scene transitions from negotiation to procedure. Names become entries. Actions become charges. The language shifts from conversation to classification. Public intoxication provides context. Battery establishes criminal conduct. Resistance explains restraint. Each charge corresponds to an observable act, documented by witness statements and body-worn cameras. None of them depend on tone, status, or intent asserted after the fact. This is where many people misunderstand what arrest represents. Arrest is not punishment. It is containment. It is the mechanism the legal system uses to halt ongoing risk and preserve order while the process takes over. What follows booking, release conditions, court appearances unfolds according to statute, not sentiment. At this point, cooperation no longer rewrites the past. It only limits future exposure. The legal clock does not reset because emotions stabilize. The broader environment resumes function. The gate clears. Flights depart. Staff return to routine. The system absorbs the disruption and moves forward. That restoration of order is not symbolic. It is the purpose of enforcement. This case does not end with a dramatic revelation. It ends with a reminder. Rights do not vanish when a threshold is crossed. They arrive at a different stage, with a different function. Freedom operates inside structure, not outside it. When boundaries are respected, discretion remains possible. When they are crossed, enforcement becomes mandatory. Not because authority demands obedience, but because shared spaces cannot function without limits.